What you're seeing here is a point against the world's most annoying tennis opponent. This is a pusher, a retriever, a defensive style player, whatever you want to call them. It's a player whose strategy is just to get the ball back in play, and he's really good at it. So it's really frustrating and difficult to play this type of player. If you're struggling with that type of opponent, you've clicked on the best video on the internet because it's part one in a series of 3 that I'm doing exclusively on how to defeat this style of opponent. In this video, I'm going to talk about mindset and a key perspective that's keeping you from beating pushers. It's holding you back from success against this type of opponent. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. Man, I just really feel for that player. And this is actually, today's analysis comes from Tennis Troll channel on YouTube. And this is a video that was published a week or 2 ago. USTA 4-5 tennis, most exhausting opponent to play against. And it features a bunch of point play of Tennis Troll over on that side against this opponent who we just saw in that opening clip. And in just a couple weeks, it's got almost 100,000 views, 1,400 comments, and those comments are decidedly negative against this player. And that's what we're really going to focus in on today. Here's some of my favorites. If green shirt was a year, it'd be 2020. That's probably my favorite one. This is precisely what my nightmares look like. You get the idea. And you can see like there's a whole lot of upvotes on those types of comments where people are ragging on this guy, calling his technique garbage and unconventional, and like he doesn't even move well. How is it that he wins all these points? And just generally people saying, this is the type of player that I absolutely hate to play against. And in this series, we're going to deconstruct why that is. And a key reason why tennis players get mixed up and have the wrong mindset or mentality is they don't realize that tennis is not scored like other sports. Tennis is most definitely not figure skating. In figure skating, what do? You line up the best series of tricks that you can. You try to make the most difficult, highest degree of difficulty session that you can, putting together back to back to back as many difficult moves as possible and trying to land all of them to try to impress the judges, and then the judges give you a score. And that's how you try to win at gymnastics and figure skating and lots of other sports like that. Tennis is not like that. In tennis, you don't get points for style. You don't get any like bonus points added to your score. You don't get bonus points added to your score for difficulty, for trying the down the line shot 2 inches over the net and 1 inch inside the line. Even if you make it, you get 1 point. Just the same as the point that that guy just won in the opening clip where he's just like lobbing the ball back. You don't get extra points for good technique, looking like you've got fundamentally sound strokes. You don't get extra points for power. You don't get extra points for spin. You don't get extra points for having the new racket that your favorite player uses. You don't even get points for athleticism, for moving well, for covering the court quickly, for being a good athlete and just kind of generally looking like you have good command of the court. You don't get any points for that. Doesn't matter what you know, how much knowledge you have about technique or strategy or anything else. It doesn't even matter how fast you are. You don't get points for any of those things. You only get points for one thing, hitting the ball over the net, into the court, one more time than your opponent. That's the only way you can score points in tennis. But unfortunately, we have this dichotomy. We have this friction between what we love to watch, that's highlight shots. You probably actually know what tournament and what round of that tournament and what year was this shot hit. This specific shot, you probably know because you're on YouTube or Facebook watching tennis videos right now. So you probably actually literally know when this shot was hit. That's sexy, right? The tweener winner at the end of the match in the semifinals of, I won't tell you, that would ruin it. Go down in the comments and you'll see exactly when this shot was hit. Those are the shots that stick in our mind, like the highlight shots, right? And they're the ones we try to emulate. And we think that that's good tennis. And I mean, it is good tennis. But unfortunately, most tennis ends with a mistake. This, not sexy. This is men's and women's point analysis. Over 2 million points analyzed. Thank you very much, Warren, at tennisanalytics.net. where you can see consistently across high-level performers and competitors, 3/4 of points are ending with somebody making a mistake, whereas 1/4 finishing with a winner, all the way on up to the professionals. Professionals are better, so they're 7 out of 10 and 3 out of 10 instead of 3/4 and 1/4. But the reality is most points end with an error, and this is why pushers drive us crazy, because they are masters at not making errors. So they're mastering this part of the equation. Meanwhile, we're trying desperately to master this part of the equation. So they're trying to master 3/4 of the points. You're trying to master the 25%, the quarter. And so it just doesn't balance out. And that's why a guy who looks like the player in the opening clip can win a ton of matches at 4-5, the level that most players will never reach, that they aspire to be able to play at, but they can't because they don't have the skills. If you're loving these analysis videos and you want to improve your game, go check out Essential Tennis Academy. We have a free trial right now where you can check out the whole members area. It's the most complete, comprehensive online system of tennis learning on the internet. Just go to essentialtennisacademy.com and sign up for your free trial. Here's the kind of the big bottom line that you need to leave today's video with. This video is all about mindset. When you play a defensive player, when you play a pusher, you've got two different choices. You can disrespect them, which most of the comments below that video do. They disrespect that player playing against Tennis Troll channel. And when you disrespect that player, when you hate on them and make fun of their game, it becomes their problem. They're the reason why you lost. You put all the blame on the pusher and say, oh, it's such garbage. I can't play my game because all their shots are loopy. They've got no pace. It's different spins. I'm having to run up and back and up. Their drop shot lobbing me, totally taking me out of my rhythm. This isn't even real tennis. How can I be expected to play against this type of garbage tennis player, right? You'll see all of that in the comments below Tennis Troll's video. Go check it out. I'll link to the video that I'm talking about right in the description down below. When you disrespect the pusher, you make it their problem. When you respect the pusher, which you should, because they understand this, they don't care about that. All they care about is winning. And by focusing on the right part of each point, they win a lot. When you respect that and you treat them like equals or even better than you, because let's face it, if they beat you, they're a better tennis player than you. When you didn't have the tools that day in your toolbox to win more points than them, they are the better player than you. And so when that's your attitude, all of a sudden it's your problem. And tennis players all around the world don't want it to be their problem. They want it to be the problem of their opponent, their unconventional opponent. But the problem with that is that when it's not on your side of the court, you don't improve. You don't develop better tools. You don't develop better patterns. You don't develop a better mindset. You just end up disrespecting them and hating on them. And so that leaves you stuck. That keeps you from developing and improving your game. You need to choose between these two paths, those two mindsets. So this is part one. Part two is going to be focused completely on patterns of play that players try that don't work against pushers. There's a lot of different kind of common approaches that tennis players take that just don't give them the upper hand. And so it's critical to understand what those are so you can avoid them. That video might be already available. If it is, you can click right here in this corner and go right to that video. If it hasn't been published yet, then make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out as soon as it's live. If this was helpful, do me a favor and click like. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.